What's up, everybody? My name is AB, and welcome to a new kind of thing I might start doing here on the second channel to add more variety, to also test out a type of content to see if it's something I end up enjoying doing. We're going to do Summerslam predictions. For those that don't know, I'm a wrestling fan. I have an Intercontinental title there, the white one. And then down here, we have my little custom championship I did for the Takedown. It was like a 2K thing for like 2018, 2019, 2020. I had a little 2K show, and that was the Takedown Hardcore Championship. So, with that being said, I also have a U.S. commemorative title over there for the old type. Those three are commemoratives. I did have a Universal replica, but the screws like came out and whatnot, so I have like the main plates and stuff, but I threw away some of the things that were just broken. Regardless, we are going to be doing SummerSlam predictions as this show is going down tonight. I'm literally going to record it, upload it to the second channel. Luckily, the second channel is a raw cut channel. But yeah, I'm rambling. I might do some more wrestling content here on the channel to test out if this is something I enjoy. Really kind of perfect kind of what type of wrestling content I want to do, and then move it over to another channel. I do have a channel called Wrestling Midground under the whole Midground brand I'm kind of starting, but that hasn't really been something that has started yet. It's just a blank channel. And anyway, enough rambling. Let's switch over, and we're going to start with the Intercontinental Championship match being Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Obviously, Sami Zayn being the champion, Braun Breaker being the challenger. They did do this match over at Money in the Bank, which was a good match, but, you know, part of me felt like they were going to do the child change there, and they didn't. And, you know, is what it is. I love Sami Zayn, but I feel like he has more stuff he can do with the Bloodline, with Jey Uso, and whatnot. I do think it is the right time to crown Braun Breaker, as much as I am not the hugest fan of him, as I know some people may be. I think he's nice. I think he's great in the ring. But I do like Sami Zayn a lot more. I will not complain if Sami Zayn wins, but I do think if they want to make Braun Breaker, crown him like one of the next big people in the company, I think this is probably the time to do that. Really have WWE really give him the stamp of approval, strap the rocket to him, have him be the next Intercontinental champion. So I do think now's the time, and that is going to be my prediction. I am going to go with and new Intercontinental champion, Braun Breaker. I think it's the time to do that. And yeah, don't have a lot else to say, but I think it'll be a great match. Hopefully it's better than the Money in the Bank one. I thought the Money in the Bank one was good, but I think it can be a lot better out of these two. So yeah, also glad they updated Braun Breaker's music. His new one's a lot better. The thing is, I think his first one in NXT was worse than his second one that a lot of people hated. That they were just kind of like generic entrance number one and number two. I thought they were both bad, but I actually kind of prefer the new one more. And then the new one he had, I started at Money in the Bank, I think is like better, from what I've heard. But poor Sheamus, what did they do to you? And then we move on to the United States Champion Logan Paul versus LA Knight. And I don't want to make it sound like I just think every title's going to change hands, because I don't. But this one I think does. I think with a lot of stuff, I think now there's a lot of factors, which I think is why the title changes. But I think LA Knight, he needs this win. He's taking a lot of big L's lately. He had the wins against AJ. That's cool. But I think now's the time that he needs a belt. And I think this is a good belt to do. Logan Paul's been great representing the belt in like social media and whatnot, but he has not really defended the title. I think you really need that right now to try to make LA Knight have some interesting feuds that SmackDown isn't completely centered around the Bloodline. And I think with that being said, I think Logan Paul should drop the title to LA Knight and have LA Knight be the new U.S. champion. Was kind of hoping this would be a triple threat with Carmelo Hayes just to kind of get him on the show, but he did just lose to Andrade, I think now twice. So that's obviously doesn't make any sense anymore. But yeah, I think this will be good. But I do think, and my official pick to win this match is LA Knight. I would do the yeah thing, but I would butcher it so much. Then we have the WWE Women's Champion Bayley versus Nia Jax. I've never been a fan of Nia Jax. That's, if you know me in real life, that's never been a secret. I do think since she's come back, she's been a lot better in ring. I still don't like her on the microphone, though. I really do not like her on the microphone. You have the interesting with Tiffany Stratton. Nia Jax just gave her new Money in the Bank, though, so I don't think she'll already cash that in. Would be cool, but they also did Io Sky cashing in on Bianca last year when she won. So I think doing that 2 years in a row, we already went through like the Money in the Bank being cashed in at Money in the Bank every year. What it felt like for like 4 years. You don't want to do that again. So I do think that Tiffany maybe teases something or like is at ringside, but I don't think she does. And sadly, I can really see them doing Nia Jax on the belt because I think it could create an interesting dynamic with Tiffany having the Money in the Bank, Nia Jax holding the championship, and I don't know what future plans they would have for Bayley as a champion. I would like to see them do something interesting with Bayley after. That's what would be my preference, but I think it makes more storyline sense, and it makes more logical sense for WWE for them to put the belt on Nia Jax. So sadly, that's going to be my prediction, which means a lot of belts might be changing hands. But that's just how it is, sadly. But maybe it can be interesting. My prediction is Nia Jax wins the WWE Women's Championship. Then we move on to Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. And the one thing I will say about this, if Rhea Ripley wins, I don't know what else story you can tell. I think it just kind of holds the Liv Morgan revenge tour versus if Liv Morgan wins, especially in some drama that can involve Dominic or some members of the Judgment Day, maybe either intentionally or unintentionally helping her win. I think Liv Morgan retaining continues the story and continues the feud versus just kind of like stomping the brakes on it. I kind of think Rhea Ripley will eventually get that belt back, but I don't think it's going to be at SummerSlam. I just don't. I feel like it holds too much momentum for pretty much everyone. I think it benefits them TV-wise, storyline-wise, a lot more to have Liv Morgan win. And there's a lot more options to have Liv Morgan win. A lot more interesting options with Liv Morgan winning. So that's why my prediction is going to be that Liv Morgan retains the women's world title. That's not to say that I don't think it's a full-blown conclusion that Liv Morgan's going to retain. I could see Rhea winning. I just don't know where you go if Rhea wins. And I feel like there's a lot more stories to tell with Liv Morgan as the champion versus as Liv Morgan as the challenger, especially as a heel. So with that being said, my prediction is going to be, and still, Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. Then we move on to CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, and I don't think I'm alone when I say this is the match I'm looking forward to by far the most. One, to see how CM Punk's doing in the ring after, being injury prone. The dynamic with Seth as the special guest referee, which I don't know. I'm interested to see if it takes away or adds to the match. I do think that there is a few different ways this can go. And like the last match, I think there's more scenarios that lead to Drew winning. I don't know. This is the match that I can see some of these going either way. This one especially. I don't really know who wins this at all. Like, there's something that has me leaning more one way than the other. Because, I don't know, it's a very wild card situation. The thing is, though, I'm going to go based off kind of what Seth said. And that's, he said he would not let, because of what CM Punk did at Money in the Bank, costing him the title, and interfering in Seth's business, he wouldn't let CM Punk get his hands on Drew. Or something along those lines. So maybe during this match, Seth costs CM Punk the opportunity, which would also irritate Drew because I know Drew wants to just beat him. Probably. So I'm going to go with Drew winning. Don't exactly know how, but I think Drew wins either with Seth intentionally screwing over CM Punk, or just a clean victory, which I don't think is going to happen. I do not think this has a clean finish. It's tough, man, though. Because you could also have Seth try to screw over Drew and then end up, trying to screw over CM Punk, but end up screwing over Drew. There's a lot at play here, which actually would make a lot of sense. If he tried to screw over CM Punk, screwed over Drew McIntyre, and then that's kind of fuels the hatred between all three of those, because you have the intention of Seth going against CM Punk, but then that makes Drew more mad at Seth and kind of creates that three-way hatred. I think I'm actually changing my pick. I was going to lean towards Drew here. I think I'm going to change my pick on the spot to actually be CM Punk by Seth Rollins trying to help screw over CM Punk at the end, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of ways this can go, but I think I'll go with CM Punk. think it creates more drama for the future, maybe, depending on how they do it. You can really, if you tell it good, you can do either winner with this one. But I'll go with CM Punk. CM Punk might need it more, but I could definitely see Drew winning. Then we move over to the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest versus Gunther. I meant to have background music. I stopped it before the recording, and I haven't been playing it. Product of it being live experiment. But we have the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest versus Gunther. Bash in Berlin is just around the corner, though. So do they hold off Gunther winning to Berlin? I don't think they should. I think he should be walking into that show as champion. But I don't know. There's a lot of the segments, I feel like they've just... I don't know. I've enjoyed Damian as champion. I really have. It's felt refreshing seeing someone new in a top main event spot who hasn't been there. But this one's a toss-up. I was, for a while, just Gunther. But some of the segments they've gone makes... Oh, will it be Gunther? I don't know. I'm still going to go with my gut. And I could be wrong. I can now see myself being wrong versus I was like, there's no way Gunther loses this. I now see a few scenarios which Gunther loses this. But yeah, I am ready for SummerSlam tonight. I am. I'm doing final predictions. This is the first time I've done predictions in a live setting or anything like this. But I have decided that, you know what, might as well do this. It's an interest I have in mine, so I'm going to bring it more to streams. I'm going to bring it more to my second channel. I'm really ready for SummerSlam. I'm going to go watch it with some family. I'm going to go over, drive over to my grandparents' house and watch it with them. Have some family come over. It's going to be fun. But this one, I don't know. I think Gunther wins, and my gut tells me Gunther wins, but I can see a few scenarios just because of how the programming's gone where Damian might. But my prediction will still be Gunther. I am really excited, though, for this. Then we move on to Bloodline Rules with Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. And this match, Judgment Day, I do think breaks up, or at least I think members break away. I don't know if it'll be like Judgment Day's over, but I could definitely see members of, if we go back to this, and the one with Rhea versus Liv, I can see at least members breaking away from Judgment Day, but I don't know if the whole faction itself goes away. I just think it looks different going forward. I can see members being removed throughout the show. But Finn Balor going to cost Damian tonight, I can definitely see that. I could see that. Yeah, that would not shock me at all. I don't know if I'm going to say that's for sure going to happen or not, but I could definitely see that happening. It would be very interesting. Again, but that's what I said. I think you'll have members being removed. So maybe Damian would maybe late Judgment Day. You might have Rhea, depending on how things eventually play out. But I don't think Judgment Day as a whole goes away. Either way, we have the Undisputed Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. I think one way or another, you have Cody Rhodes win. I don't think Solo wins this. I could, at the very least, I think Jimmy comes back. If you don't have Jimmy come back, then it's Roman Reigns. I do think Roman Reigns returns. You have to have at least Roman or The Rock return, and I don't think it's The Rock, so I think it's Roman. I can also see maybe Jimmy coming back during this. Not for sure with Jimmy. I'm pretty sure Roman comes back, and I hope he comes back. I think it's his time. I do think Cody Rhodes has to retain, though. I will say, I cannot look forward more to the day that this championship is not involved in anything Bloodline related. That's not to say that I want the Bloodline story to end. I just want to not be involved with the championship, and I know that's going to be a while, but that's what I was hoping when Cody Rhodes would win, and that's just not been the case. It's still very ingrained into the Bloodline story, sadly. And I want something fresh with this title. And it's still the Bloodline rules type stuff. I don't want that with the WWE Championship anymore. But I know. Isn't the countdown to SummerSlam 3 hours long? I think I read that somewhere. And I'm not watching a 3-hour pre-show. I'll probably have it on the background, hang out with family. 3 hours long for a show with no matches is way too much. I remember, don't get me wrong, It used to suck, but at least like back in 2018, 2019, they would do a pre-show and it would have a couple matches on it. Like the storylines weren't as good, but like at least like the pre-shows felt like something. But I feel like if they're gonna do a 3-hour countdown, you need to have some matches on there. You could have put like the tag team title match that was last night on there and got people hyped for the show. But you know, instead they did it on SmackDown, which is fine. It would mean it was a good SmackDown. I think it needed to be good for a go home show. But I think 3 hours for a countdown show is way too much to have like no real substance on it. I'll probably have it on the background as I chill with family. But yeah, I do think Cody Rhodes wins, and that is my prediction. Anyway, those have been my predictions for SummerSlam. We might actually make the thumbnail on stream, as I need to upload this to the second channel before SummerSlam starts. So that's probably what we're going to do here. But yeah, I'm going to be the real you.